Hi, family. Dr. Hooten here, coming at you from the Hooten Family Healing Center in Dallas, Texas. Big topic: heart health. Heart disease is one of the leading causes of death in this country. Depending on the statistics that you look at, up to half of all Americans are going to die or have some major heart-related event, whether it's a heart attack or a stroke or something like this. So I'm going to go through in this video, I'm going to go through 3 things that will help you. If you apply them, it will help you avoid this, killer. Of course, other killers in this country are cancer, Alzheimer's, diabetes, and that type of thing. But if you think about it, if you just get your body right, where your heart and your circulatory health is in really good shape, you've probably eliminated a lot of risk from all the other diseases too. So even if you have a healthy heart and you want to avoid cancer and dementia and Alzheimer's and that type of thing, listen up. This video is for you. As always, the information I'm going to give you, the knowledge, it comes down to you whether you take action. And that's the first thing I want to share with you. It comes down to your mindset. A lot of you know you need to change what you're eating. A lot of you know you need to get some exercise. Why aren't you doing it? Well, you have to really inspire yourself on a daily basis. You have to look at things that are important to you. You have to read, pray, listen, or meditate, and really think about what's most important to you and then get after it. And one of the first things about mindset that I really want to crush is our reliance on medications. When you hear of heart health and testing your heart and that type of thing, you think of going to the cardiologist or going to the doctor. They check your blood pressure, they run some blood work, they may do a stress test, an EKG, and all these different things which do nothing to actually get you healthy. It's all detecting disease after it happens, or what they call disease. If you rely on medications at any part of your life, at any time, for anything, if you rely on medications, listen up, you are artificially treating your body. Let me say that again. At any time in your life, whether you're in your 50s, 60s, or 70s, and it's blood pressure, cholesterol, diabetes medications, or if you're a child, if you're a parent and you're relying on vaccines, or you're relying on acetaminophen or antibiotics, wherever you are in that, if you're relying on medications, you are keeping your body from naturally getting stronger. You're using an artificial means to try and get healthy. What do childhood medications and vaccines have to do with heart health? Well, it has everything to do with heart health, because the habits that we develop as we grow up, that's how we're going to behave, as we age. And if we're relying on chemicals to artificially do something for our body, well, you're not going to have any problem when taking a blood pressure medicine, which does nothing to get your heart healthy. So this whole mindset of medication has to change. You probably see those buckets up there, all the blood pressure medicines and all these different things that people have turned in over the years. It comes down to this. Did God make us to where we have to have some type of medication? Whether it's an injected needle, if it's a pill, some type of potion or lotion. And the answer, if you talk to me, is no. And I can lecture and give give a class on how your body works physiologically down to the cellular level. And I'm telling you, there's no place in there where you were designed to have a drug injected, or whether you're supposed to be taking it. Now, if you think it's genetic, you have control over your genetics. Okay? You may not have heard that recently, but there's a whole field of study called epigenetics. Your behavior is going to determine your outcomes. Okay? My family has, we've been there. We vaccinated, we medicated, we antibiotic like crazy. When I was a baby, I was in the hospital a dozen times or so before I was 2 years old. When we lived on medications, my dad took blood pressure medicines, cholesterol drugs, diabetes drugs, and we were in that medical world, and we realized we actually weren't getting healthy or strong. In fact, I was getting weaker. My parents, as they aged, they started getting, weaker. So we woke up, somebody said the right thing, and we found ourselves looking for a way to build natural immunity. So that's the first thing. Let's get our mindset right. You can't rely on a drug, injected or pill form or anything along those lines to get healthy. Your body doesn't work that way. You don't need it. The science does not support taking drugs of any kind. In fact, Did you know this? The U.S. has more heart medications than any other country on the planet. We have more doctors, more cardiologists, we have more vaccines, we have more Tylenol, we have more Advil, we have more drugs than anywhere else. We take somewhere up close to 90% of the world's medications are taken in the good old USA. If those things worked, we would be healthy, but we don't. We lead the world in heart disease per capita. We lead the world in cancer per capita. We lead the industrialized world, the people that report childhood deaths. Listen to this number. We lead the industrialized world. I think the last time I saw it, we were like 42nd in the world in infant mortality. We give more drugs to our babies right out of the womb. It's all drugs all the time. Listen, if you want to do that, I'm not going to condemn you, but I will tell you your body's not made to have to rely on medications. And I've got all kinds of videos about this. If you ever want to have a discussion with me, please reach out. We can have a talk. And I'll tell you how I got this way. Because like I said, we used to take drugs. So we woke up, started changing our lifestyle. Now, what does that mean? What do you have to do? Well, in terms of getting a healthy heart and a healthy circulatory system, a healthy brain, physically, you have to get your spine flowing. So number one is understanding, getting your mindset. Number two, have a healthier spine. Let's get your brain and your body connected. That's where this corrective chiropractic approach comes in. Why would you wait till your spine hurts before you do something about it? Shouldn't we take an active approach and make sure our brain is getting through our spine to every cell, tissue, and organ in our body? That means having somebody like us actively looking at your spine, checking it to make sure that it's flowing. That also means you should be doing something every day to help your spine, because I guarantee you, if you have eyes and you're watching this and you have ears and you're listening, you have done something today that is not good for your spine. If you sit in a car, if you sit at work, you are torturing your spine. You're damaging it, you're compressing it. There was an article a few years ago that you can look up that made all the headlines. Sitting is the new smoking. And the correlation was that all this sitting that you're doing is causing as much cancer as smoking did. That's what the studies are showing. The reason that is because we're compressing our spine. Of course, their treatment is, go get surgery and take anti-inflammatories and all that crap. You don't have to do that. Start taking care of your spine actively today, and it will get stronger. Your body will get stronger. Your immune system will get stronger. Everything will get stronger. And that's what the first thing my parents did. So my dad was taking all those medications. I sat him down. I said, Dad, trust me. Just come with me. Follow what I'm telling you to do. You can always go back to the drugs if it doesn't work. And today, he's in his early 70s. I won't tell you how young my mom is. They both look 50. They act 18 sometimes. No medications whatsoever. They lost a ton of weight. A lot of families around here, if you've been around the office at all, they will tell you the same thing. You start doing these things and you're consistent with it, your body gets stronger. Your babies get stronger without vaccines. Your children get stronger without having to take antibiotics. You get stronger hearts. You get stronger immune systems without having to rush off to the doctor with everything. Take care of your spine. Okay, now food is important. Toxicity is important. I don't want to neglect those things, but the big thing about this video today is exercise. There are two types of exercise just in general. You've got the long distance, the cardio type of exercise where you're on a treadmill or you're walking for an hour or jogging, the cardio type exercise. The other type we're going to call interval training. We've called it surge training or burst training, HIIT training, HIIT, which stands for high intensity interval training. Basically, interval training is when you go for a time, then you rest for a time. Then you go again, you exercise, rest, exercise, rest, exercise. You get it, that's an interval. So I want to talk about those two things. So your cardio type, where you're walking for an hour, jogging, or doing something continuously for 30 minutes to an hour, something like this, there's a big problem with that as far as your longevity goes. So if that's all you're doing, you don't have to stop, but you need to add in interval training. And the more interval training you do, the better off you're going to be. So what's the problem with long distance cardio? There is a very good cardiovascular benefit while you're doing it. You actually might burn some fat during the exercise. However, there's a real nasty hormone that gets built up called cortisol. And cortisol will actually store fat, break down muscle tissue, and basically wreak havoc on your body. So while there's a short-term benefit with cardio, there is a longer-term negative consequence. So if you really enjoy running or jogging or marathoning or that kind of thing, look, I hate to burst your bubble, but you're creating a problem. The godfather of jogging, Jim Fixx, he actually wrote the book called Jogging, died of a heart attack. I mean, he just killed over dead in his, it was either in his 40s or 50s. So listen, jogging and long distance cardio is not everything it's cracked up to be. Now, like I said, you don't have to quit that, but throw some interval training in there at least 3 days a week. So here's a basic interval training guideline. Pick a couple exercises. Let's just take one for now. Let's take squats, just an air squat. You don't have to put weights on your back or anything like that. Just sit there and start pumping out some squats. A real easy way to start this is put a chair behind you and touch your butt to the chair and then stand all the way up. And if your knees won't let you go all the way down, put a few books in the chair, try and touch your butt. Eventually you'll be able to go lower. So that's a squat. Another one is a push-up. If you can't do a full push-up, go against the wall and start doing wall push-ups. So there's a couple of exercises. And let me show you, I'll explain the routine. Now you could take any exercise you want. Jumping jacks, if you want to sprint, burpees, it doesn't matter. If you do this properly, it'll be a great workout. So let's take squats. So I'm going to squat an interval training session. I'm going to set my timer for 30 seconds. So this is a very good beginner level type of interval training. I'm going to do squats for 30 seconds as fast as I can. Then I'm going to totally rest for 30 seconds. Then I'm going to go again for 30 seconds, rest for 30 seconds, squat for 30 seconds, rest for 30 seconds. If you do 4 rounds of that, your legs are really going to be cooking. I would suggest go up to 6 rounds, maybe even 8 if you can. If you need to start with 3 or 4, that's fine. But if you get up to that 8 round mark, now you've just worked out and rested for a total of 8 minutes, and then you're done with squats. If you only do 4 rounds and you're done in 4 minutes, that's fine. A second exercise, if it's push-ups, go against the wall or on the floor. Do push-ups for 30 seconds, rest. Do push-ups for 30 seconds, rest. So you are in control of this. Pick the number of rounds that you do, 4, 6, or 8. Then totally rest. Pick the next exercise. Pick the number of rounds you're going to do. And you'll be done, in 10 to 15, 20 minutes if you do 3 exercises in that same interval program. And now what you've done, when you shock your butt, it's going to be difficult. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that it's going to be easy. If you're an expert and you did 8 rounds of squats, 30 seconds as hard as you can, and 30 seconds rest. You could even do squat jumps, right? If you're an expert. Instead of push-ups, you could do full burpees, or you can do explosive push-ups. You're going to get one heck of a workout. You want to go as hard as you can, whatever your level is. Now, what is that doing? Well, you're going to get a little bit of cardio effect because you're going to be breathing and panting, you're going to be sweating. You're also lowering all of your blood sugar, right? You're going to use all the sugar in your body, so your brain has to go into overdrive and start burning fat for energy. So it will lower cortisol, raise testosterone and growth hormone, and some other hormones for that matter, for the next day or so, for the next 24 to 36 hours. So you have a long-term, but you have a short-term benefit with interval training and a long-term benefit with interval training. So throw that into the equation. We can help you. Just reach out to the crew. If you'll do this, your hormones will get shocked back into unison, if you will, into where they're all cooperating with each other. Your metabolism will eventually kick in. There is no quick fix. All right, it's not going to happen. You see some people that start losing weight quickly, others it takes some months. Look, you've got to treat your body like it's supposed to and let time do its thing. There's no process that happens without time. And consistency, right action steps, those will pay off. My family is a perfect example of this. You've got hundreds and hundreds of families around here that have done this, and they've all seen the benefit as long as they stick with it, and they'll be honest with you. So throw that into the equation. Get back and watch this video a couple times if you need to. So to sum it up, don't be relying on medications. The medical system is not going to keep you healthy. It's not the doctor's fault. They just don't know what they're doing when it comes to getting healthy. All they know is medications and surgeries. Number 2, take care of your spine. You can't even exercise properly if your spine isn't working right. And number 3, throw in interval training. And I will tell you, I do very little cardio nowadays. And last year I lost 24 pounds. I do all interval training now. Interval. And I've gotten up to where I can do about an hour of that interval training. Start with 15 to 20 minutes. You can work your way up if you want. Remember, there's unlimited potential up here. There's unlimited power in your body. God didn't make a mistake with any of you. With your kids, He gave all this power to us. Let's use it. Let's make it up into our 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, and beyond, fully functioning, not falling apart, not waiting for the next hip to break. Let's do everything we can to live the life that God intended for us. I don't know about you, but I want to play tennis or soccer or whatever I want to do with my great, maybe even great grandchildren. Remember, drugs are bad, God is great, and so are you. This is Dr. Hooten signing off. We'll talk to you next time.